You have tried to grow things in that spot. You have amended the soil, added compost, watered consistently, done everything right, and watched plant after plant fail anyway. And every time it happens, you blame yourself. Stop. It is not you. It is the plants you are choosing. There are 5 perennials that do not just survive poor soil, they perform better in it. They spread on their own. They come back every single year. And the worse your soil is, the harder they bloom. You have been fighting your yard. Today you stop fighting and start planting smart. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because this is exactly what I put out every single week. Let's get into it. Plant 1. Creeping Thyme. Most people walk past this one at the nursery and reach for something that is going to be dead in their worst spot by August. That is the wrong move every single time. Thymus serpillum is hardy in USDA, zones 4 through 9. It grows between pavers. It grows in gravel. It grows in the cracks of a driveway where there is barely enough soil to fill a coffee cup. And every single time you step on it, it releases a clean herbal fragrance that stops people mid-stride. Here is what most gardening content never tells you about creeping thyme. Compacted, dry, rocky soil does not stress this plant. It is the precise condition it evolved to dominate. Rich amended soil makes it soft, weak, and prone to rot. Your worst, most neglected, most difficult spot is this plant's ideal home. It spreads through trailing stems that root wherever they touch ground. It handles foot traffic better than most ground covers on the market. It blooms tiny pink and purple flowers that cover the plant completely in late spring and pull in more bees than almost anything else in your yard. Tell me in the comments right now, what state are you in? And what is the one spot in your yard that has beaten every single plant you have thrown at it? Drop it below. I read every one. Plant 2. Sedum. This plant stores water inside its own leaves. It does not depend on you remembering to water it. It depends on itself. Established sedum survives 6 to 8 weeks of zero watering and bounces back without permanent damage. Try that with anything else growing in your yard right now. Sedum is hardy in USDA, zones 3 through 9. Autumn fire gives you deep copper-pink flower clusters from September through November. Dragon's blood stays low, with vivid red foliage that intensifies as fall temperatures drop. Plant it in your leanest, most neglected soil and watch what happens. Rich fertilized ground makes sedum floppy and weak. Poor dry ground makes it bloom harder, stand taller, and spread more aggressively than you ever expected. Neglect is not a mistake with this plant. It is the correct technique. Plant 3. Yarrow. This plant grows in gravel. It grows in cracked hardpan. It grows in places where you have already killed 3 other things and walked away in frustration, and then it blooms for 6 straight months without asking you for a single thing in return. Achillea millefolium is hardy in zones 3 through 9. Flat-topped flower clusters in yellow, white, pink, and deep red depending on the cultivar. The feathery silvery foliage is intensely aromatic, which is precisely why deer and rabbits walk right past it without a second look. Here is what almost nobody mentions about yarrow. It releases natural compounds into the surrounding soil that actively suppress weed seed germination in the area around it. You are getting a built-in biological weed barrier working from the root system itself. No weed fabric, no extra mulch. The plant handles suppression on its own terms. Rich, heavily amended soil makes yarrow floppy and disappointing. Poor, dry, rocky, neglected soil makes it bloom harder than you expected. Plant it in your worst soil. That is not settling. That is matching the plant to its ideal conditions. And I want you to do one thing right now. Hit the like button. Every like tells YouTube this content is worth showing to gardeners across America who are still blaming themselves for spots that just needed the right plant. One tap. That is all. Plant 4. Black-eyed Susan. Golden yellow petals radiating from a near black center. Blooming July through October. Right when every other garden on your street looks exhausted and finished. Rudbeckia fulgida goldsturm is hardy in zones 3 through 9 and thrives in exactly the lean, dry, unamended soil that defeats most ornamental plants. It spreads 2 ways simultaneously. Underground rhizomes push outward every season. Seed heads drop new plants every spring. You plant one in May. By year 3, You have a sweeping colony you never touched, never watered beyond what rain provided, never fertilized once. Leave those seed heads standing through winter. Goldfinches and chickadees feed on them from October straight through February. Your difficult spot becomes a wildlife feeding station that costs nothing to maintain. Plant 5. Russian Sage. This is the one that makes people stop at your yard and ask what it is every single time. And the answer is one of the easiest plants you grow. Perovskia atriplicifolia is hardy in zones 4 through 9. From midsummer through fall, it sends up tall silver-white stems covered in tiny lavender-blue flowers that seem to float and shimmer in the air. The whole plant has a misty cloud-like quality. It moves in the breeze. It catches the light. It makes everything planted near it look more intentional, by contrast. And the care requirements. Almost laughable. Full sun. Poor to average soil. And it genuinely performs better in lean soil than rich soil. Excellent drainage. That is the entire list. Heavy fertilizing makes it floppy and kills its natural elegance. Drought, heat, wind, neglect, Russian sage handles all of it without complaint. Cut it back to 6 inches in late February. That is your one annual task. 30 seconds of work. It comes back fuller and more floriferous than the season before every single time. Your difficult soil is not a problem to fix. It is a condition to match. Every plant on this list was built for exactly what you have been apologizing for. Stop amending, stop replacing, stop blaming yourself. Plant these 5 this May, and walk past that spot in July. Drop a comment right now. Tell me which plant you are putting in first and what state you are gardening in. I read every single comment. Your answers shape the next video. Now go plant something.